Well, I'm home, but it all feels a bit alien to me.
The following days seemed to merge into each other. I thought I'd have the same carer every time, but there was no guarantee of that. I found myself sounding like a broken record as I repeated the same information over and over again to the ladies who let themselves in with a cheery smile and a willingness to look after me. I did find myself getting upset at times, as I wished I didn't have to rely on strangers in my own home, and that I had someone to look after me who wasn't there because it was their job. Lots of time to think and contemplate the next steps in my life. I was still talking regularly to Jules, who was keeping me abreast of the world outside and politics, as I was trying not to get involved on social media platforms. So a news detox was no bad thing. Obviously that had started in the hospital, so I just carried on with it. I did chat online to a couple of friends, including one of my dearest ones who followed her heart and now lives in New Zealand with her hubby and 2 children. That was not something that I thought would happen when I first met her. We met while we were both doing volunteer charity work for a cancer charity in the UK. You can figure out which one it is by what I've just said. I wish she was here. I started to keep a spreadsheet of my medication so I wouldn't lose track of it, and got some pill pots, you know, that have different times of the day on them, and I would sit and sort out my meds. How many meds am I actually taking? Let me just... You see, I don't even know how many meds I take now. I just do the pots and work on the pot and take it at certain times of the day. I've got a reminder on my phone that tells me to do that. Meds, meds, meds. I would share my spreadsheet with you, but it's huge. I do like a spreadsheet. Says she. Meds. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different tablets plus a multivitamin. That's a lot. Anyway, where was I? I was telling you about sorting out my meds. And yeah, I made sure that I took my evening meds while the carers were here so that they knew that what I was doing. They really were proving to be a godsend. They patiently washed and brushed my hair as my arm still hurt. Things you can take for granted and suddenly struggle with, eh? I did feel guilty about having them here because I'm sure there are people far worse off than me that needed their help, but that was the deal from the hospital, so no choice if I wanted to come home. The Sunday after coming home, I had a bit of a glitch. I tried to climb the stairs to go to the loo and got stuck. When I say stuck, I don't mean literally stuck. You know, I'm a big girl, but not as wide as my stairs. I found myself in so much pain that I couldn't walk up and I couldn't come down. I hadn't taken my phone with me because don't take my phone to the loo. So there's a quote, there's a song by the Muppets, I think, about being halfway up the stairs. It's not at the top, it's not at the bottom, but this is the step where I always stop, or something like that. But I didn't have a choice about stopping. I was there until the pain eased, and of course I also had a full bladder, so it wasn't fantastic. I really did need to get over my issue with the commode, but there was an idea. When I first became friends with Jules, he took me to Avebury, which is somewhere I'd always wanted to go and hug those stones. Oh, then we went to Silbury Hill, which you can see I have a glorious picture of that Jules took with the drone. And then we went to West Kennet Long Barrow. Halfway, funnily enough, halfway up there, I wanted a wee. I really wanted a wee. And he just laughed at me. And I could see a main road, so there was no way I was going to have a wee. And he encouraged me, and I had my first ever wild wee. Well, not strictly true. Apparently, at the age of 2, I peed in the Trevi fountain. Yes, I know you're supposed to throw a penny in there and not spend one, but I was 2, and hey, yeah. Anyway, this was my first adult wild wee, and was going to be the first of many. When we went to Scotland in May, I had no problems on that score. Yeah. So I had the idea that maybe I should just put the commode in the garden without the bucket. No one would know. They'd just think I was sitting outside. So that was my plan with the commode. Once the evening carers went, I would sit and eat in the conservatory before retiring to bed, even though sleep was still a problem. Pre-heart attack, I would happily sit in the garden and drink a bottle plus of wine that would knock me out, but I couldn't do that anymore. The house I live in has very thin walls, so you can hear every word from the houses either side. So I go to bed with earplugs and ear defenders. It's not just in hospital that I wear them. The downside to this is they're not comfortable, and I have atrial fibrillation, as I'd said in an earlier vlog. If you don't know what this is, it's an irregular heartbeat. So when I put on my nightly headgear, the noise I can hear is like having all the best drummers in the world playing a gig in your ears. Except the beat is my heart going crazy. That is what I hear in bed. I don't use them elsewhere, and subsequently I sleep much better. Last year Jules went to Spain for winter, so I was able to escape there and sleep, which was fantastic. I'd started to engage with people more on social media, but it left me feeling lonelier than I had ever felt. I didn't want the world to feel sorry for me. I wasn't wanting attention. I'm not into pity parties. I just wanted a distraction, and I couldn't keep leaning on Jules. I didn't want to push him away as a friend by leaning on him too much. But I did need someone, and that was one of my issues. After my upset on the stairs about being stranded, I used the seat in the corner. Yeah, that one. I don't know how many times I said sorry to the carer because I was mortified that there was wee in a bucket. You know, it was only wee, and I've emptied we went camping. But there's a difference between having to use it because you can't physically get to it and using it for convenience in a camper van in the middle of the night rather than going outside for a wild wee. I started knitting little hearts to distract me from the bigger one still ticking away inside me, thank God. They're different to the ones I'd made in an earlier episode. Here you go, you can see. Teeny and tiny. I have got lots of these all around the place. I'm looking at them. And yeah, they're cool. What I was doing, what I do, is I put little crystals inside, and there are quite a few of these out in the big wide world that I've given to friends. Yeah, to say thank you and to just be there. I still have more to make and more to give away, but my little hearts are great, and I'm going to put a link to the pattern below because they're on Ravelry. As I said, that's a great knitting community where you can find all sorts of patterns. I did something different. Before all this thing happened, I bought loads of lemons and limes, and they needed using up. So I made limoncello and limoncello. Such a shame I couldn't drink it, but I don't want to waste all the fruit, so that kept me amused. It's so easy to make that I wish I'd done it years ago. It was Jules's idea to make it, and whilst he's off busy filming, I made a little sign. Here we go. When life gives you lemons, drink limoncello. Well, make limoncello. I still have it in the kitchen, and it's pretty potent. The carer supervisor came around to see how things were going as my first week was almost up, to look at an exit strategy that we needed to think about. Tonight was the first night I actually missed salt on my food. Or maybe I was just getting used to food in a different way and getting my taste buds back. I went to bed with a flask of warm milk to see if that would help me sleep. My, how things have changed. For years I didn't drink milk as it upset my stomach. Now this was my evening treat, and I was starting to enjoy it. I received a lovely card in the post from my friend Sammy in South London. I hadn't seen him for so long. I miss him. The thing about Sam is he is a prolific letter writer, something which I envy. I start to write a letter and then get distracted and never get to send it. It's always such a delight to receive something from him. And it's not just his act of writing, it's his attention to detail as well. On the envelope was printed a cat, a green man, and the white horse of Uffington, all of which hold meaning for me. I love cats. The only reason why I don't have one is that my neighbour in London was allergic to them, and I was the only person he saw on a regular basis, so didn't want him to suffer. I embroidered a green man when I lived down south. For some reason I've always been drawn to the green man, and it was my first foray into embroidery. As you can see, the little one on the left is the embroidered one, and then the big one was a picture that Jules took and put a colour to it that got printed up, and I think it looks rather good. So I was pleased with that. Talking of which, when We visited all the white horses, including the White Horse of Uffington, back in the days before lockdown. And there is a film about it on his channel. So to receive this card was just fantastic, and still gives me a smile on my face. And because of my crafty embroideryness, of course I couldn't resist embroidering one. The thing about this one, which you can't tell from it, is it's glow in the dark thread. So at night I'll come in here and I'll see this horse staring back at me. Yes, a bit weird, but that's me.
Join me next time when I have to think about an exit strategy. If you like what I'm doing, then it would be great if you could like, comment, subscribe and share with anyone you think may find this interesting. Also, if you ring the bell, you'll get notifications when I upload my next video.